Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about Lu Dort. Now that Victor Wembanyama's out for the season, there is an open contest for Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. is the front runner, but today I wanted to go ahead and do some Lu Dort propaganda because I think he is deserving of it. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you guys agree with me that Lu Dort is the heart of the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense, and it's actually an outrage that Lu Dort has never made an all-defense team? A man who is synonymous with defense and with his ability, literally known as the Dortcher Chamber, has never been an all-defensive team member. So let's get right into today's video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. And when it comes to defense, Lu Dort, the Oklahoma City Thunder's ultimate weapon. This season, he's been the anchor of a Thunder squad that boasts the best defensive rating in the NBA of 105.4. With his elite metrics and defensive abilities backing his case, if you just watch the eye test, Dort isn't just the Thunder's Defensive Player of the Year. He's a strong contender for the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year award, and I think a lock to make the all-defense team finally. So let me tell you the numbers. So Dort's stats tell a story of a player who will shut down anyone. Defensive LeBron, 0.79. This is one of the better metrics to show Dort's defensive impact, as he's one of the league's best stoppers. Then his defensive field goal percentage of 40.3, which is negative 5.8% against league average, which means opponents are nearly shooting 6% worse from beyond the arc when he's defending them. And his 2-point defense within the inside of the arc is negative 5.4, 48.7%. Dort is just dominant on there, forcing tough shots, and his rim protection is negative 8.4 within 6 feet of the basket. As a wing player, being able to be that good as a weak side rim protector is just insane. And those are just not numbers. They're impressive numbers. They're a big reason why the Thunder led the league in opponent field goal percentage entering this video at 43.1%. When Dort is on the floor, the Thunder reach a whole nother level defensively. They allow just 104.9 points per game, the best in the NBA. They're in the 97th percentile when he's playing in terms of defensive efficiency. The team's defense improves by 1 point per 100 possessions when Dort is on the floor. His defensive box plus minus is 1.11, placing him among the league's elite defenders. Dort's impact isn't just about individual stats. It's about how he elevates the entire team. His relentless energy and his ability to take on the toughest matchups offensively for the Oklahoma City Thunder's league best defense is something to watch. When Dort's on the floor, head coach Mark, aka Mark Daigneault, runs a thriving switch-heavy defense that basically guard early, hedge late, and just stay with your man sometimes. Shai, being the guy who is the offensive cog, is able to somewhat rest as he can have Dort over there. But the thing is Dort and Shai both rank in the top 5 percentiles, 95 and above, in defensive turnover creation. When they're on the floor together, they're a nightmare for opposing offenses in the half court. The second-year big man who has been injured, but Chet Holmgren, he allows the team to have a guy who can tell Dort, run free. And I know it's been limited games, but it's 98.6 points per 100 possessions when those two have shared the floor. It's been beautiful. And now that Chet Holmgren's been back, I believe 4 games so far as the time of this video, those are insane numbers for a guy who's only played 14 games so far this season. Just the first stretch of games we saw, in 3 before the All-Star break and 1 so far after the All-Star break. It's been good, guys, those two together. Then J-Dub, of course, is able to switch onto forwards and wings. And when Shai comes off the floor and J-Dub stays on there, he's able to do what Shai and Jay and Lu are all able to do together. And Isaiah Hartenstein, while Chet was out, was able to provide defense, provide that secondary layer that they've needed as a reinforcer and as just another person who has that grit that Dort brings. I think what makes Dort truly special is his ability to guard anyone, whether it's a speedy guard, a player with jump out the gym athleticism, a crafty wing, or even a small ball big. Lu Dort can handle it all. Against wings, he's going up against Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, forcing them into tough shots. Against bigs, he's going up against guys like Chris Boucher, guys like Victor Wembanyama, guys like Nick Claxton. And he's held his own in the paint. He's matched up against the stars like Curry, Dame, and De'Aaron Fox, and holding them below their season averages. The versatility that Lu Dort allows OKC to stay flexible, aggressive on defense, and nearly making it impossible to score against. Here are the other numbers. Dort just doesn't slow down opponents. He disrupts them actively. And as you guys see on the screen right now, this is a guy that so far, if we pull up the stats again, the steal percentage 1.6, which is in the 67th percentile among wings, showing his ability and knack to create turnovers. He's 1.1 block percentage as a perimeter player. That's insane that he's contesting shots at an elite rate, almost at the same rate that some bigs do. And his turnovers forced of 18.1%, pressuring ball handlers into losing the ball, putting him in the 95th percentile is unreal. And his defensive rebounding being like 6'3", 6'4", some places put him 6'5", allows him to be ranked in the 40th percentile. Yeah, it's not going to be huge, but that just shows the energy, the effort, the hustle, the ability to play this full court pressure and close out positions at all times is because of a guy like Lu Dort. Obviously, Alex Caruso is a big help there. Now, the next thing I think is huge is in 51 games played, 1,475 minutes. That's about 28.9 minutes per game. He's one of the most durable players so far this season. I know for his career, he hasn't been always available, but he's defended 3,072 possessions, and that's taking on the toughest assignments, as we already mentioned, without showing signs of fatigue. And his foul percentage is just 4.3%. So he stays on the floor even against the most aggressive of scorers, being tasked to guard the best players. He maintains his discipline, intensity, and effectiveness throughout the season. And I think Lu Dort is the backbone of this defense, which ranks number one defensive rating, number one in opponent field goal percentage, and opponent's points per game. His elite ability to guard scorers, disrupt offenses, and elevate his teammates on the defensive side makes him obviously my clear choice of defensive player of the year. Jaren Jackson Jr. already got it, as OKC is competing for the number one seed in a very tough Western Conference. Dort's defense is why they're crushing people. It's why they'll make a deep playoff run. It's because of that relentless effort. And just look at it. He's disrupting the passing lanes. He's creating fast break opportunities due to his deflection with those active hands. He's able to close out against the best shooters, second to none in that, often forcing them to take contested off-balance shots. His energy allows them to play at a full court press at key moments. It's also disrupting the rhythm of the other offenses. And these are hustle plays that don't show up on the box score. It's a big reason why the Thunder are so effective at what they do. And we already talked about how he's held Curry to below average night. He's had Luka Doncic go and take bad shots. Devin Booker isn't able to shake him, and he stays in front of him, and he makes Anthony Edwards' life miserable due to his strength and lateral quickness. And for a team like the Thunder, if they're going to go into the playoffs, every possession matters. Having a lockdown defender like Dort can be the difference between winning a series and losing it and going home early. You're going to have a guy who guards multiple positions in games against the Nuggets, games against the Suns, games against the Clippers. And in those close games, he's going to get the stops against elite players, and that's what you need. He's also a vocal leader. So for me, Lu Dort equals offensive stopper. Lu Dort equals OKC's defensive player of the year. He's the engine that drives the Thunder's defense. His elite numbers, his versatility, and his ability to shut down the defense or shut down the game with his defense is why he's one of the most valuable players on the NBA's best defensive team. If OKC is really going to be making some noise in the playoffs, they'll need Dort to keep doing what he does, locking down the opposition. But that's it. Ciao.